Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. My name is Christelle Barakat, and I'm currently a Lebanese Fulbright graduate student in the Peace and Conflict Studies Master's program here at UNCG. And this Expo slide, or this Expo presentation, is the final piece of the puzzle to me completing the Silver Leadership Challenge. This has been truly such an amazing and incredible journey to be on, along with my Silver Leadership Challenge coach, George Vinson, known to many as Wally Vinson. And I have titled it A Journey from Within to the World, Growing from Silver and Reaching from Gold. This is because it has been truly a journey of self-discovery, of delving deeper into myself, to acknowledge my strength, look at the challenges I might be facing and suppressing, and just growing through them in order to be able to project the best version of leadership that I can in the world. And so that my actions, particularly in the realm of leadership, are more impactful around me. And it's also growing from the Silver Leadership Challenge to reach the Gold Leadership Challenge. Simultaneously, it's about honing my skills, which could be, let's say, deemed at a silver standard in order to reach that gold standard, or the best and most efficient way of using those skills. So the first step in my journey throughout the Silver Leadership Challenge has really been defining my academic, personal, and professional goals. And I have done so alongside my Silver Leadership Challenge coach. So academically, I wanted to maintain a level of excellence in schoolwork and to apply to the Middlebury Institute of International Studies Summer Peace Building Program, in addition to attending it. And I'm happy to say I was able to achieve both. I also got an acceptance to the Summer Peace Building Program alongside an entrance scholarship that covers a big portion of the registration fees. Personally, I wanted to carry out the UNCG Center for Student Wellbeing Sleep Challenge and to incorporate more guilt-free self-care time in my life, in addition to reflecting about life after Fulbright and after my master's at UNCG. And so I was able to successfully complete the sleep challenge and to take more me time, but also to start thinking about what life will look like after I'm done with my master's degree. I still have a lot more thinking to do, but at least it's a good start. Professionally, I ran for SGA and was elected into it, and I applied to several internships, accepting one with the Carter Center in Atlanta. It will be virtual because of COVID. And 2 days ago, actually, we were able to virtually host a hibakusha, which is a term that denotes the survivor of the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Our survivor was from Hiroshima, and it was such a successful and deeply moving event. And we are currently in the review process for our Peace and Conflict Studies departmental journal. So it's a work in progress. I used the SMART goals principle to reach the above goals, or to define them and determine them. And I made sure to balance between short-term and longer-term goals. So things, for example, like attending the Middlebury Summer Peace Building Program was a more longer-term goal, in addition to reflecting about life after Fulbright and UNCG, and the departmental journal. However, other elements were more shorter term or more easily attainable, I would say. And this slide is really to appreciate Wally and all of his efforts throughout the Silver Leadership Challenge journey, not just in defining goals, but also in helping me grow throughout the journey. Wally was such a great coach to have, and he is such a great mentor as well. He has years of experience in coaching and leadership. He's really calm, collected, and a good listener, and that did wonders with me, particularly his calmness, as I tend to sometimes ramble and sometimes I'm a bit very intense to some people, but he had no issue with that, which was great. He is also really great at reading between the lines of what I'm saying, and in between my rambling. He asks good follow-up questions that make me think and reflect upon the scenarios I give or the things that I'm thinking through. And his ability to reframe, summarize, and further investigate really led us to having some amazing discussions and conversations. He is great at balancing between allowing me to discover lessons from what I'm saying on my own, but also in terms of empathizing and mirroring. So he would sometimes share his own experience with something I'm kind of challenged about or going through, and he would kind of try to let me know what was his way of dealing with it. We had a lot of open, honest, and fluid conversations, so we did not really have a predetermined structure for each session. We kind of went into them with an open mindset, kind of letting the conversation carry on and see where it would lead us. So really the sessions took different shapes and forms because of that, and I wouldn't have had it any other way, to be honest with you. So growing from within, I was really able to let go of some mistakes from the past and to reduce my overthinking, but also talking with Molly made me acknowledge that sometimes I might blame myself too much because others might also be at fault, but I might just not be realizing it. So I learned how to become a better leader, how to reflect on experiences, and particularly whenever I'm in a position of recruiting anybody or dividing tasks in a group or forming teams, I had a lot of aha moments from talking with Wally. I also discovered how to enhance my communication skills with others by explaining my choices or the reasons for my decisions, but also to further incorporate others within that decision-making process and to find a middle ground in case we both have different professional aspirations. I also honed my professional and diplomatic skills, particularly when it comes to applying to several internships after I had accepted mine, and this was a big success. And I think the area that relates most to my 360 assessment is really the communicative area of growth. So the communication part, my 360 assessment was great overall. It just stated that I could potentially hone that area of my life. And I think I needed more on the social and personal level than on the professional level. And I am excited to work more on it as we go into the fall semester, but also as we start to regain a sense of normalcy. So growth is really a slow and continuous process. I believe I still have a lot to learn in terms of balancing my top 5 strengths, which are achiever, learner, maximizer, intellection, and belief. They can be really powerful if leveraged correctly, but they can also be a hindrance in case I cannot unlock their full potential. I also need to get better at letting go of the past and at striking a balance between growing from the past and not letting it weigh me around. I realized that I carry a lot of experiences like rocks in my pocket, and this weighs me down a lot. So I've started working through a lot of these rocks and just kind of taking them out of my metaphorical pocket. And Wally has been such a great help with that. Also, I need to normalize self-care and incorporate it more into my lifestyle. It's okay to take me time, and actually with the strength combination that I have, I do need it to reach that balance. So it's not just okay, it is essential if I want to leverage the positive aspects of my 5 strengths and to reach my full potential as a leader. So growing through others and into the world, and this is the community involvement part, I served with the Center for New North Carolinians by volunteering as a tutor at the Oakwood Community Center, and by also volunteering with Dr. Dia Abdo, the director of the CNNC. And my volunteering work with her was focused on research. These experiences increased my self-awareness and my awareness of others and their needs, particularly of the needs of our young clients. I volunteered with kids during this tutoring experience. And this allowed me to let go of some of my seriousness because kids need someone who's a bit fun to keep their attention. Also, I realized that service is about giving each person what they need, not what we think they need. It's really about achieving equity. So if a kid is struggling in a small part or with a small part of the lesson. This is where they need help. Maybe they know all other aspects of the lesson. So it wouldn't be beneficial to them if I explain the lesson all over again. They just need help with that small part of it. All volunteers at the CNNC are really leaders, leading with empathy and compassion. And they acknowledge the needs of the kids, the individual needs, and work with them through these challenges. And I learned a lot about the immigration process and the challenges faced by community members through my research with Dr. Dia. And this reaffirmed to me the importance of research when it comes to benchmarking and strengthening community models and programming. Now, what keeps me really going? What gives me that drive? Well, I find strength and motivation in a lot of my beliefs and values. So I think that we only rise by rising together as a community. It is our responsibility, once we succeed, to help others around us reach their own versions of success as well. I also really like this quote, which is not knowing is bad, not wishing to know is worse. And I would add the final part to it, which is knowing and not doing anything about something is the worst. So once we do have a knowledge about something, about a challenge, about an issue, we have a responsibility to start thinking about how we can act on it. We have a responsibility to educate ourselves more about it and to advocate for it. And I think we can really do better as human beings in so many aspects. And through the work that I do, I'm building the present and the future that are really springing from my deeply held values and beliefs. I'm also a big sustainable development goals advocate, and I think that each person has the right to live a life in dignity with their full human rights being given to them. So a glimpse into the future, turning silver into gold. How will I move forward from the Silver Leadership Challenge? Well, I want to focus mostly on building up my strengths, which are really my differentiating characteristics. And here I do refer to my top 5 strengths, but also at elements like public speaking, writing, translation, which I all enjoy, and more. As the world kind of moves into creating a new normal after the pandemic, I feel I need to focus again on public speaking because it has been really a discontinued part within Zoom, especially as hand gestures tend to be awkward or cut off. I also need to focus more on my personal networking skills and on adapting myself to life after COVID. In the fall, I will start the Gold Leadership Challenge so that I can keep growing as a leader, and because I acknowledge the benefits of the leadership challenges as a whole. And I will focus more on the Global Leadership Program, of which I am the coordinator, but my focus on it will be more from a participant perspective because I'm both the coordinator but also a participant in it. And I want to dedicate more time to the Preparing Future Leaders program. This semester, I completed another exciting OLCE program, which is the Civic Engagement Academy, and it has planted in me a lot of curiosity related to local government, and I would like to further look into it and learn more about its services and structures. I will, of course, continue volunteering with the CNNC in addition to other organizations. This summer, I'm very excited about volunteering with the Family Justice Center on their Pathways program. Finally, one piece of advice I could give, or best lesson that I could give, is that wherever you are in your journey, it's important to start somewhere. Sometimes we feel lost. We don't know where to start from, or we feel really overwhelmed. Even though there are priorities, it's also important to start from somewhere, because when we start doing something, then at least you are working through your list of to-dos and you are reducing that stress and that overwhelming feeling. So whatever you may be going through today, tomorrow, or at any point in your life, just start somewhere. sometimes it doesn't matter where that somewhere is from, because the key thing is to begin. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day.